Well, hello there, my little retro film buffs. So on this week's edition of at Louiedaylightz Film and Analog Photography, we'll shoot again with my digital camera, the Canon 5D Mark IV, and I invite past clients again to get an excuse to shoot with my Mamiya RB 6.7 Pro SD. This week, we'll shoot with Michelle. Michelle was a past client. She was really cool. She has very abstract vibes. She's done all kinds of different work, and today she joined us for a photo shoot out in the city, and we'll talk about how that went, and we'll also see the shots that we took. You'll see some edited shots, you'll see some raw images as well, and then you'll see some Mamiya RB 6.7 Pro SD 120 analog film shots and how those came out. So stay tuned. So in this video, we're collaborating with Michelle. I shot with Michelle on two separate occasions. She came over to Point A Studios, which is a studio that unfortunately has closed its doors for now, and its operator, Mr. Still Raw, is moving to Florida, or has moved to Florida, and unfortunately, it was one of the last shoots that took place at that studio. But anyways, I had like an open casting where I invited 3 or 4 past clients, collaborators, who I was interested in shooting with. I rented the studio for about 3 hours that day, and I had everybody come in, and it was a blast. And Michelle was one of the first time visitors that came that day to collaborate with us, and it was kind of cool. I had seen her on Instagram, and she was a local model here in Springfield, Massachusetts. I believe she's originally from Connecticut, or maybe she's from Springfield, I'm not even sure. In any case, I was looking at her Instagram account, and I noticed that she had a lot of different styles of photography, and that really grabbed my attention because I like somebody who's not necessarily stuck in one niche. And for the kind of model that she is and the look that she has, she's pretty flexible in the sense that she's not tied down to one style or one look. She's very open to the vision of the photographer, and she was cool because she allowed me to include some of the wardrobe that I sometimes gather. She was really cool that day, and I invited her back after she returned from Paris. We were able to collaborate on the street for the sake of shooting with my Mamiya RB 6.7. More than anything, I can appreciate her easygoing attitude. She's very professional, she's on time, she's cordial, she's kind, and that really goes a long way when it comes to getting callbacks for collaborations with me. And so what I've been doing is I've been shooting or inviting collaborators to come out. What I do is I invite them over, they come out, they meet with me, I take some shots with my digital camera for them, then I go back and I edit them for them as part of their hookup for coming out, and then I get my shots. I usually try to shoot at least 9 shots with them, but it was a cool experience, and this is how it went. So during this portion of the video, you're seeing me drive to this location where I thought maybe we would find some opportunities to shoot. There's this place where they work on Land Rovers and Land Rovers and Range Rovers, and they work on Rolls Royces as well, a lot of Mercedes, European vehicles. And I see when I drive by there, many times there's like all these amazing cars parked outside. I'm the kind of person that doesn't always get permission, not because I'm some rebellious person, but sometimes I try to do the right thing and put on the charm and be a real nice guy and go and ask for permission, and then I just get shut down and I get rejected. And so that kind of made me a little bit of a guerrilla shooter when it came to shooting video or even photography. I used to shoot a lot of street photography back in the day before I had the courage to shoot people. And so a lot of it was guerrilla warfare, man. A lot of it had to do with me just showing up somewhere and just kind of doing it and getting the heck out of there before anyone noticed. But in any case, I lost my train of thought. Why was I talking about that? But there weren't any like super mind-blowing cars that day, so we scratched that idea. So there's this like futuristic building in downtown. I think it's like an art school of some kind, or maybe office space. All right, guys, here we are. We are at 1500 Main Street, or 1550 Main Street, and we're out here today with Michelle so that I can get some shots with my Mamiya RB 6.7 Pro SD. We have a 3 look situation. This is gonna be our first look. Then we're gonna go a couple blocks down. Should be okay. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny, although we're in the shade. I have my FJ400 Westcott for the digitals, and then we might go in the sun for this guy. So you'll be standing up there. You wanna climb up there? De una vez? Yeah. Testing. So I'm going for like a high glam, like super poppy, very bright. So tus poses pueden ser bien majestic. Comenzamos con portraits y después
for my feelings sometimes. Got misdirected, you know what to say. And I was telling myself many lies, just like the old days. So is that what you want? Bring it in. Another level and you feel like quitting. You can tell, and we will surely be paying the price. Don't know about you, but I feel we're winning. So let's go.
Me gusta mucho the kind of shots que son candid, donde you're not necessarily posing. Y estás como que ajustándote un poco el pelo, revisándote, ajá, sí, random. Did you say la barba? Cuidado con la barba. Is that code name?
That just sounded very wrong. I didn't say it. Lady, you're so inappropriate.
Oh my goodness. We ended up at this white old building that's for sale. A lot of people have shot there before. If you're a local photographer, I'm sure you've shot there 100 times, and I've shot there a bunch of times as well. And it's still a cool building, and I think that if you bring a different vibe with whoever you're shooting there, it could still work. Even just like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I collaborated with somebody that reached out, and she had some like sports vibes that she was trying to put out. Didn't necessarily match the building, but we took some shots anyway. And I thought they were okay considering. But yeah, that building that you'll see Michelle at, big white building, it's not abandoned, but it's for sale. It's not inhabited, and that building is actually for sale. Location 2. Test. Down the street that way. Somebody has to drive home. ¿Qué tal si te pones ahí donde está eso broken? And you put your hands there like if you did it.
Oh, it is broken, like real broken.
passing this dress around.
I'm so in love with you. You got me down again.
Another factor that took place during the time that I was going to shoot with Michelle with my Mamiya RB 6.7 Pro SD was that I loaded it with Fuji Film. I was looking online and trying to be unique and trying to have different styles of photography or different looks. I like to try different films, and so Fuji Film discontinued this Pro 400H. And because they discontinued it, I thought it'd be a good idea to purchase a pack of 5 and see what I can accomplish by shooting this film. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't, it was okay. I would say it was okay because the film is popular apparently because it's got kind of like some bluish kind of hues that are automatically added to the film somehow in the way that the film is processed or the way that the film has been designed. And I guess for certain looks that's okay. Maybe I haven't fully mastered on the other end once the film is being processed and scanned by myself. But for shooting outdoors with full sunlight, I really didn't see anything super special about it. Did also finish up a roll with some shots I took of my wife at Point A Studios just to get that roll finished because it seemed like I had it in the camera for about 4 weeks and I just didn't have anything lined up after I shot with Michelle to finish up that roll. Another thing about that is that I was shooting outside in the sun and in some cases in the shade, and I felt like the Fuji film, for being a 400 ISO film, I felt like some of the shots were a little bit underexposed. And oddly enough, I forgot that I had 400 speed 400 ISO film in there, and I was metering with my light meter reader. I was metering at 800 ISO, which basically means that it would be overexposed by one stop, right, from 400 to 800. Yet some of my photos seemed a little dark. Well, I'm not gonna say that they seem dark. You'll see what they look like. But when I was metering out in the sunlight, I guess I metered for in the shade when we were in the shade. So you'll notice in some of those shots, it was really pretty well exposed, even though I was overexposing by one stop. I felt like the sky looked great and where the sunlight was coming from was cool, but because I was doing a combination of getting the background sky that was in the sun and then my model who was in the shade, I thought that I would have some kind of balance, but I feel like it was still underexposed. So even if I had placed the ISO correctly in my meter at 400 rather than 800, they probably would have even been darker than what I got. I was happy with a little bit of the overexposure while it was in the sunlight. She was wearing a dress that I found that I thought would be really cool in sunlight. It was shining off so brightly. It even was casting like some sparkly highlights on her face. So overexposing it kind of gave it an overly saturated look, but I really didn't see anything amazing about this. I'm actually still partial to the Portra 400 or even 800, which I purchased as well, and I shot with the 800, but I'm finding out from everyone that I speak to about this and even videos I've seen online that the 400 Portra is just as good as the 800. Why spend the extra for 800 when you can just meter for it as if it were 800, and overexposing it by one stop isn't necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't like super go crazy overexposing it. So cool, that's gonna save everybody some money, right? If you don't have to purchase the 800 ISO and you can stay with the 400. The 800 ISO is a little bit more expensive, probably another 35 to 40 bucks more to what you would normally pay for a 5-pack. I paid a little extra for this because it's discontinued, but again, I have probably 3 rolls left of this, and I'll use it, but I'm not crazy about it. But at the same time, I'm not gonna just like hate on it. Let's shoot in different types of conditions and see what happens.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, stay frozen. Sorry, 1 second. I don't forget. Okay, here we go. Frozen. 3, 2. Ahora, si quieres, párate allá. Reposiciono para 2 más. O para esta. RIP tripod. RIP.
So I really hope that you enjoyed what we did here today, shooting with Michelle. I want to thank you, Michelle, and your girlfriend. Thank you for coming out and being so cool and so down to earth. And we probably will be collaborating again in the near future. And also, don't forget to subscribe. Remember, Mom said that she would subscribe if I had at least 5 followers. So we're almost there.